What's up, everyone? I'm your host, Talia, and you're listening to The Live Lounge, a podcast that takes a weekly peek into the minds of 20-somethings who are living and learning how to make life work and helping each other along the way.
God bless these 20-somethings. God bless.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Live Lounge podcast. I want to thank you all for joining me today, and I want to thank you guys for making it a successful first month of podcasting. We have finally reached our first month of podcasting, and I couldn't be more excited. Thank you all for your support, and keep tuning in and invite your friends to listen because the show only gets better from here. This week's episode deals with a topic that we have all played a part of in some way almost every day of our entire lives, and that topic is friendship. So let's get right into the show. You guys know that I love to start off each week with some form of motivation or some form of inspiration, and that's why we have the quote of the week this week to kind of get our minds thinking towards the topic and get us ready for the couch conversations that we will have later. So the quote of the week this week comes from Jennifer Aniston, and it reads, "Where would you be without your friends? The people to pick you up when you need lifting. We come from homes far from perfect, so you end up almost parent and sibling to your friends, your own chosen family. There is nothing like a really loyal, dependable, good friend. Nothing." And once again, that was from Jennifer Aniston. And I chose this quote because our topic of this week is titled, as you read, "What about your friends?" Our friends play a huge part in how we live our lives, how we conduct ourselves, how we engage with other people, how we problem solve. And today we're going to get into that. And I figured this was a great quote to start it off because it gets you thinking about how your friends play a part in your life. So yeah, thank you, Jennifer Aniston, for this quote of the week. And guys, let's move on. Now that we've got our weekly motivation going with our quote, I want to shine some spotlights on some booming 20-somethings that are making things shake in this world. And this week's booming 20-something is my girl, Deasirae Gibson, or as I call her, Desi.
Okay, so boom.
Desi attended Alabama State University, where she was on Dean's List every year and became a member of Zeta Phi Beta sorority. She graduated cum laude with a degree in mass communication. After graduating, Desi put in serious work with internships with the likes of the radio station Streets 94.5, CBS News, and Usher's New Look Foundation. She is currently a 9th grade teacher and is pursuing her passion as a photographer. Desi, I love you, girl, and I love seeing your work. Your photography is phenomenal. Seeing you work with the kids is amazing, and I'm really happy that I was along on the journey long enough to just see you get to where you are, and I can't wait to see where you go from here. You're a wonderful person. I love your smile. I love your energy, and the kids love you as well. So keep up the good work, girl, because you are a booming 20-something, and we need people like you out here making things shake. Alright guys, you already know what time it is. It is time for you to break out your fuzzy socks, for you to put your hoodies on, your sweatpants on, grab you something good to drink, get comfortable, grab your friends, let's gather around because it is time for couch conversations.
Just say you will come through and chill.
And like I mentioned previously, this week's couch conversation topic is what about your friends? I know that we all have experienced friendships on a multitude of levels over our lives because we are 20-something. So that means we got a little bit of time under our belt. But you know, we can only do what we can do. And growing up, friends come and go almost every week. Relationships are maintained and then depleted almost every day. It's just like a cycle of, oh my gosh, what is going on? So because of that cycle, I have created and come up with 5 tips on friendships this week. Okay, let's get into it. Tip number 1. It is okay to not always have a large number of friends. Because we are constantly changing as people and relationships are constantly changing, you're not going to always have 30 plus friends. You're not even going to always have 10 friends or 5 friends, because people change, mindsets change, everything is always changing. So if you feel like you're supposed to have 30,000 friends all the time, it's not going to happen. Even if you look at your social media, you may have 1,000 or so followers, but I promise you, you don't have a genuine relationship with each and every one of them. If you do, wonderful, you are awesome. But if you don't trip, don't front, don't flex about it. It is okay. Starting new transitions in life always brings about new groups of friends. Let's think about the schooling system as a whole. When you're entering elementary school, everything is new, everything is exciting, everybody is new and everybody's exciting, and then you make all of these friends and you have all of these people to talk to, all of these people to play on the playground with, all of these people to go to birthday parties with. It's like you have 30,000 friends all of a sudden. And as you matriculate through elementary school, you get around the 5th grade and notice that you don't have as many friends as when you first started. That's perfectly normal. That's what you do. You may end in the 5th grade with maybe about 10 friends. I don't know. You may end up with 10 friends. And that's fine. You went from 30 to 10. It's okay. You weeded out the ones that weren't necessary in your life, and you kept the ones that you felt that they were. And then you go to middle school. Now that same 10 may not follow you to middle school, so guess what you do? You make new friends because you're in a new place with new people. And you find people who like the same shoes that you like, who like the same nail color if you're into nails that you like, who likes the same things that you like, and before you know it, you have 20 new friends. Because you got friends in almost every classroom that there is. That's okay too. And then as you matriculate through middle school, drama happens. She stole your girlfriend. He stole your best friend's friend. Like, all of these things happen where it's little drama that is real to the person experiencing it. But then you notice that by your 8th grade year, you only have 5 friends. Okay, bet. That's fine too. Because you don't need all of those people in your circle. And then you go to high school, and once again, there's another big transition. So guess what happens? You have more friends your freshman year than you have ever had in high school before. Why? Because you just got to high school. And then as the years goes on, and as you get into your senior year, you notice that friends start to drop off like flies. Relationships aren't being maintained. She said that, he said that, they said that, we said that, they said that, he said that she was there and he wasn't. All of those conversations happen, and you get to your senior year and now you only have 5 friends. Cool. It's fine. It's okay. Maybe that's your cap number of friends that you can maintain. 5. Cool. After high school comes the big jump, which is college. Your first chance at being an adult, your first time freedom. And then you get to your college campus and you got so many people that you can be friends with. If you live in a dorm, everybody is your friend because you see everybody. If you are a commuter, everybody that commutes is your friend because you're always in your car, always walking to the same places. You got a bajillion friends because you see the same people at the parties. You see the same people at the campus events. Cool. You are a social butterfly. Caw, my girl, my guy. Do you? And then you get to closer to your senior year and you realize that I got a smooth 4. Like, I can count on these 4. These 4 have been rocking with me. Bet. That's okay. I think, in my opinion, the only exception where you don't just like bloom into these new groups of friends would be post-college. And that's because you're focused on your career. You're focused on what you have moving forward. You're focused on your life post-college. So you don't get new friends. And it's okay that you have now only have 4 friends. Like, that is perfectly fine. It's not abnormal. Somebody told me when I was younger that the less friends that you have, the less drama that you can get into. It's just true. It's just true. The less people that you have in your circle that you're confiding into or that is pouring into you in some way, the less opportunities you have to be caught up in petty drama or into something that could put your life, your career, your health, your family in danger. Okay? Second point of that is you don't have to talk all the time to be good friends. It's important that when you do talk, you feel like you never stop talking. I have one friend that I can think of right now where we have been friends since the 3rd grade. The day that I met her, we became best friends. And we have continued our friendship up until this day. Like, we're still friends. But we do not talk every day. Like, we literally go years without talking. And we'll see each other on social media, comment on each other's pages, text each other every now and again, check in on family, check in on what we got going on, making sure that everything is good. And then we go back our separate ways. But when we see each other, when we're around each other, it is like we never stopped talking. We never took a break. We're able to pick back up where we left off. And that is key in friendships. If you find that you have to be friends with people who constantly need your attention, or you constantly need their attention, you need to check the balance that's going on in your friendship, because something is not right there. I have friends that I talk to all the time. Like, we talk almost every day. We talk maybe 4 or 5 times a day. But it's not like that's not what we need all the time. We just check in on each other because things happen throughout the day. If you have someone that is pulling on you all the time, why didn't you text me back? Why didn't you respond to my message? Why didn't you answer my call? Or if you're that person, you need to take a step back and understand the underlying issues of that. Like, why is this happening? What is going on in our lives that make me so dependent on a person in that way? Okay? All right. Tip number 2. Every friend is not meant for everything. There are different types of friends, different types of friendships, different types of relationships. You cannot treat everybody the exact same way. Why? Because you're going to get frustrated. If you have that nonchalant friend that kind of brushes everything off but it's really cool, it would not be wise for you to tell them all of your deepest, darkest feelings and emotions, because when it comes time for them to respond, it's going to be real dry and you're going to get real frustrated. On the flip side of that, your bout it friend, maybe you need to curtail the things that you tell them, because they are ready to pop off at every given moment, and every situation isn't meant for a pop off. You just might need to vent and get it off your chest. You have to know who in your friend group is meant for what, because you don't want to cross information, or you don't want to confuse relationships and then the friendship is over because you just did not understand who was doing what in your life. Also understand where you play in their life, which goes into tip number 3. Know your limits and know your friend limits. By that I mean, personally, know what you are willing to do, what you are willing to accept for your friends. Okay? Know where you have your hard nose and know where you have your cool yes. Know that within yourself, because you don't want to be put in a position where your morals, where your values, where you are compromised in any way because you have not made a clear establishment of what you are willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. Also, know your personal limits with how much you are going to give out versus how much you're going to take in. So know that you're not capable to have 30 friends. That's just not what you're capable of containing right now. But you are capable of giving your attention to a smooth 3. Bet. Give your attention to that smooth 3. Know what you are willing to tell your friends. At what point do you cut off and be like, nah, I'm going to keep that between myself? And know what you're going to tell about another friend to another friend. Like, you just have to have discretion. Learn how to say what you need to say, when you need to say, and who you need to say it to. Everybody can't process information the same way. So you can't be extremely blunt and extremely upfront with every single friend. That's just not how things work. Some people are more sensitive than others. Some people, it takes them a long time to learn something real quick. So you have to be strategic in how you give out information and how you receive information. If you are a friend who does not take criticism well, then you need to work that out with your friends. Your friends need to know the best way to approach you with instances where you are wrong. And you will be wrong because you are human and nobody is perfect. All right. Tip number 4. You have to take the good with the bad. There's 2 sides to this. The first side is you cannot leave every time there is a disagreement. Okay? We are human, which means we have flaws, which means we don't get everything right all the time. It's not going to always be perfect. It's not going to always be fun. It's not going to always be a good laugh, a ha-ha, a kiki, and a drink. It's not going to always be like that. There will be moments where you have disagreements, but here's the thing. It should be a disagreement, not an argument, not any kind of deterrent in your friendship. It's okay to disagree. I know in my friends, we all think differently. So where I am like, yeah, let's go here and let's do that because I feel like this is the best opportunity. Another friend will be like, well, if we do this, this will happen, so we should go left. And in that situation where I feel like we should go right and they feel like we should go left, we either decide to meet in the middle on that, or we decide that we're just going to agree to disagree. There is no rift in our friendship at that point. We just make amicable decisions to drop it right there. And that's perfectly fine. You cannot leave just because Susie didn't say that you should wear the pink shoes because you wanted to wear the pink shoes. That doesn't make sense. That's immature. The other side of this is you have to learn how to be there for your friends through the good and the bad. And your friends have to learn to be there with you through the good and the bad. If your friend is dealing with loss, you should know how to relate to your friend in a way that will help comfort them. If you are dealing with loss, whatever that may be, whether it's a relationship, a family member, a pet, a job, an opportunity, they should know how to deal with you in those situations as well. You also should know how to be happy with your friend. If you are in a relationship, a friendship, or otherwise where the other party is not happy for you and your successes, you need to check that relationship. Likewise, if you are not happy for your friend and their successes, you need to check that as well, because there is something going on there. There is something going on there that needs to be looked into further, because your friend should be just as happy for you as you are for them. There should be a balance there. So know how to take the good with the bad. And tip number 5, know when it is time to let the friendship go. Okay? You just have to understand that there's things that happen in life, like you grow apart. Like nothing really was bad. It's just you as friends went on different paths. That will be a time to let the friendship go. You don't have anything holding you together anymore other than time in a relationship. And time is going to forever increase and forever change. So the longer you're friends, the longer time you have been together. But that doesn't mean that you guys are still on the same page or walking the same path. So that may be a point where you have a conversation with your friend and just be like, okay, so what are we doing here? What's going on? I see that I'm going down this path and we don't talk as much, and I see that you're going down this path and we don't talk as much. Are we still wanting the same things? Is there a meeting place that we can have? And then if you can't find that place, cool. Decide that this was a great friendship. We had a great run. I wish you the best in life. If you ever need me for anything, my number is blah, blah, blah. You can reach me by email, social media, Whatever that conversation needs to look like, you need to have that conversation. Sometimes you guys can be bad for each other as friends. Either you're always getting into situations that are bad for you, or you're always attracting situations that are bad for you, or you're engaging together in arguments and differences that are bad for you. You just have to know when things have become toxic, and you have to be comfortable with walking away at that point. It just has to happen, because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you are being damaged because you can't let go. That's just the A and the B of it. Then there are friendships where you just have unreconcilable differences. You just can't come to a happy medium. For example, if you guys watch Basketball Wives LA like I do, you know that Tammy Roman and Evelyn Lozada have reached a place of unreconcilable differences. They just cannot get right for their lives. Like, it doesn't happen. And they have to get to a place where they're just going to agree to not be around each other. If you are like them and you have a larger friend group where you guys are always together in some form of fashion, you have to decide if you guys are going to cordially relate to each other. It doesn't mean you have to be buddy. It does not mean you have to laugh and kiki with each other. It does not mean that you have to text, call, or be around them after that moment. It's just a quick, I acknowledge you, you're here, hi, move on type thing. You have to decide if you want to do that. And you also have to decide if you're not able to do that. It's about knowing yourself and knowing your own maturity level. If you know that you cannot be around Joshua because y'all got bad blood and y'all just can't get right to save your lives, maybe y'all need to miss a couple of events where you know the other person is going to be there. You also cannot punish your other friends for wanting to be around the friend that you are having an issue with. That does not make sense. Unless you are the glue that brought those two people together, or those three people together, however many people together, it would be irrational for you to think that way. Unless they have formed their own relationship outside of you and have become good friends, then that's something different. But if their only glue that's holding them together is you, that's a conversation you need to have between your friends. But you cannot punish your friend for inviting Joshua to the party. They're friends. They have their own situation. They have their own relationship. You just won't be able to come. And leave it at that. And Joshua can't fault them for the same reason. It makes no sense, and it makes everyone look really immature when you're not able to be around each other in settings and function as human beings because you want to act like animals and go in on each other all the time. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And as 20-somethings who are maturing and trying to be better, more mature individuals, we have to think rationally about things because we are being watched at all times because we are expected to fail. We are expected to slip up. We are expected to be damaged in some way. So we have to do everything we can to not keep that ideology going. So those are my 5 tips on friendship. Tell me what you think, guys. Leave reviews on the podcast on this episode on whatever streaming service that you are using. Go to the Cues from the Crew section on the website. If the website is not up when you go to post your Cues from the Crew, message me on Twitter or on Instagram and let me know that you do not have access to the website, and I will go in and I will make sure that everything is set for you to leave your comment. If you don't feel comfortable leaving comments on there, you can always message me on social media. I will link the socials for the Live Lounge podcast in the description under each episode that is posted. Also, guys, we have a hoorah, we have a yay moment, we have a celebratory moment. The Live Lounge podcast is available on every streaming platform. So if you have Google Play, you can go to the Google Play Music app, find the Live Lounge podcast, and it'll be there. If you have Apple Music, or if you're an Apple product user, you can go to Apple Podcasts and it is there. If you love Spotify, it is there. If you love YouTube, it is there. If you love SoundCloud, it is there too. We also have YouTube and we have Pocket Cast. So guys, please share with your friends, share with your cousins, all the 20-somethings that you know. Bring them in and tell them about the Live Lounge. Get them tuning in, and I can't wait for you guys to all join in and join the crew. I love to hear from you guys. So share with me your thoughts. Share with me your ideas. What are your tips on friendships? Do you have stories that you would like to share? If you would like me to share some story times, we can do that as well. I would love to hear from you guys. And maybe one day We'll have an entire show just dedicated to cues from the crew. Whatever you guys want to say, I will just go through and read them all, and we can talk about it on the show. All right? Let's make this a us thing and not a me thing. Now we have reached the very last segment of the day, and if you are like me and you are on social media and you think like I think, and you already know what I'm going to ask y'all, because we all want to know. And that's, who raised y'all?
Who raised y'all?
Like, we need to, as a group, know who is responsible, who is in charge, like what is going on. This week's Who Raised Y'all is specific to this sensitive generation that is coming up after us. What in the world? Like, huh? How, Sway? How? So I'm on social media. Actually, no. I was in the car listening to the radio. I still do that. I know it's antiquated, but that's what we do in the car. And somebody was giving a report, and this lady who is a teacher got fired from her job because she gave students zeros for not turning in their assignment. The reason why she got fired is because the school system is saying that you can no longer give students zeros for not turning in assignments. You have to give them 50%. Excuse me. What? Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. Let me digest this real quick. So you mean to tell me I don't have to do nothing and I get 50%? How does that work outside of this school system? Like, how does that work in life? Nowhere in life can you put in no work and still receive 50% of a reward. Like, who just gives out half of a reward for nobody doing nothing? Like, you can put in all the work you want, and in life you will half the time not even get 50%. And that's you doing everything that you're supposed to do. So how is this supposed to help these children? No accountability, no responsibility, no structure if you are taking away every opportunity for them to learn structure. Point B, they are now implementing in the school system that if there are organized sports, nobody can lose. There is no first place, there is no second place, there is no third place. It is all participatory. I'm sorry, what? How, Sway? How? How is that ever going to work? Like, how is that ever going to work? You work your butt off to get a reward. If I am showing up at practice every day, working my tail off, sweating my brows to the ground to come play a game, and I go and I spank your team and all of us get a reward, I'm sorry. I'm not, no, I'm not standing for it. I'm not sitting for it. I'm not walking for it. It's not happening. That is making this generation so sensitive and so mushy when it comes to everything. Y'all, they are saying that these kids do not want to be called freshmen anymore because it hurts their feelings. Well, baby, what are you then? Because you are obviously a freshman in school. Like, you're the first. This is the first time you've ever experienced this, so you are fresh to it. You want to just be called students? What? Why? How? What is happening? And then there's these kids who got mad at something they were told by administration, I believe. So they put laxatives in the lemonade. So now everybody is running around the school bowelless and just going all over like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Like, how are we supposed to prepare the future generation for the real world ahead of them if everybody is being coddled and everybody is being babied on every turn because y'all don't want to hurt these kids' feelings? First of all, this is not how you deal with social constructs. This is not how you deal with emotional baggage. This is not how you deal with disorders, disabilities, or any kind of enabling anything. This is not how you deal with these things. You don't, because people are getting their feelings hurt, you wipe out every kind of structure there is so that you lessen the chances of getting their feelings hurt. No, you find out what is going on. How is this affecting, and how do you move forward? You don't just put everybody into one bucket and cut it all off, because what's going to happen is once these kids leave these school systems and they go into the real world, they're not going to be able to handle themselves. And then you want to talk about a mental problem, you're going to have depression skyrocket, you're going to have suicide skyrocket, you're going to have all of these negative effects on the economy and on people's self-esteem and personal growth, because you wanted to cut out things that provide structure. How is this supposed to work? I remember being in elementary school, and if you did something bad, you had to move your clip from green to yellow to blue to red, or something in that order. Do you guys know that they are now cutting out that system to where nobody has to move their clip? How does that even, how do you run a classroom in that way, where you have people who are not following the rules? Like, what do you put into place to keep people to follow your classroom rules so that you are able to be a productive professional? You have 30 students in a classroom with one teacher. That is so much personality in one room, so many different interactions in one room. How are you supposed to gain control of your classroom in order to force feed them this information that you have been force fed? How does that even work? I am so tired of this generation. I remember in 2010, 2011 Twitter, where we would all get on and say good morning and good night to each other, and everybody would respond. We would watch TV shows together and everybody would be interacting. That was such a time where sensitivity was so low, because everybody was treated like family and you could say certain things to certain people. Of course, there was things like Twitter jail, and that was because you tweeted too much. But now you get on Twitter, if you blink your eyelashes 3 times real fast, there's going to be a whole Twitter community that is like, why you had to blink 3 times? Why you couldn't blink 4 times? Why you had to blink at all? Don't you know there's people out there who can't blink? Like, hold up. I had an eyelash fall in my eye. My bad for my body just naturally progressing how it's supposed to. Everybody's sensitive about everything. How are we supposed to live in a world where everybody is so sensitive? Like, you cannot do anything without offending someone. One or two things is going to happen. Everybody's going to be too sensitive to function, or you are going to have an entire group of people that are rebellious, who are not going to follow anything that you tell them to do, who are going to do everything that they want to do, because everybody is always hurt about something. At some point, you got to get a tough skin. You have got to get over it. You have to understand and put priority on what things require your attention and what things require you to leave it alone. Like, oh, woo! What are we gonna do? I haven't even had kids yet, and I'm just like, I don't even know what to do when it's time to even have the discussion of having children, because if we don't put a stop to it right now, it's only going to get worse from here. And I'm not about to raise no sensitive, emotionally hypersensitive children. Like, this just not how that's going to work. And it's like, you cannot restrict your kids from everything, because the world is intrusive. The world is invasive. So if you don't get to your kids first, the world is going to get to them. And that's the last thing that we need right now. All right, y'all. I'm off my soapbox. I feel a little better. Not 100%, but I feel better than I did when I started. So that was my Who Raised Y'all. Do you guys have a Who Raised Y'all? Do you have a story? Do you have some input on today's Who Raised Y'all? Drop it in the Cues from the Crew section. Drop it in my DMs on social medias for the Live Lounge Podcast. Comment on the Live Lounge Podcast for this week. Let me know what you think. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you have to say. Let's have a dialogue, guys. So guys, that was this week's episode topic of what about your friends. And I want to thank you all for joining me. Thank you guys for once again making this the first successful month of podcasting. I can't wait to see what is the next thing that comes up for us and how big we're going to get as a crew. I love you guys, and I know that we are 20-somethings and we must stick together because we are living and learning and growing in a generation and in a time where we are the creators. So I just want to leave you with good luck on those 20-somethings.